You have a dream right now, something that you want to build, start, become, and you're not doing it. Not because you lack the skill, not because you lack the time, and not even because you lack the resources. You're not doing it because of 5 words running on a loop in your head. What if it doesn't work? That, my friends, is anxiety. And if you let it run unchecked, it will quietly kill every single dream you've ever had. Not with one dramatic blow, just one postponed day at a time. You see, here's the thing that nobody tells you about anxiety. It doesn't just announce itself as the enemy. It actually disguises itself as caution, as realism even. And that is exactly what makes it so dangerous. You don't even realize that you're being stopped because it doesn't feel like stopping. It just feels like thinking. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how anxiety operates at every stage of building something, and exactly how to keep moving while it's screaming at you to stop. And honestly, it doesn't even need to be screaming at you to stop. It could just be constant, just overwhelming thoughts of decisions or the future, what you're gonna do today, what you're gonna do tomorrow, what you're gonna do this week. See, I go through exactly that. I've been going through exactly that. So I hope you're able to learn something from me. Now, here's the first way that anxiety kills dreams. And that's precisely that it never even lets you start. You felt this, I felt this, you have the idea sitting right there in your head, right? The business, the book you want to write, the channel you want to start, the career change even, even dropping a job. And instead of taking the first step, you just take inventory of everything that could go wrong. What if I don't make it? What if I'm judged? How do I even start? Or you just think of every single way of starting something, or every single way of going about a decision. Should I quit my job first? Oh, but then I won't have enough money. Should I start this and then do this at the same time? Oh man, but I don't have enough time. That's exactly anxiety. You see, notice how none of those questions or statements are actually about the work. They're purely about the fear of the outcome before there's even an attempt. You haven't written a sentence, made a sale, or tried to make a sale, or even recorded a video, and you're already grieving a failure that hasn't even happened. This is anxiety's favorite move, convincing you that thinking about the risk feels like progress. And let me tell you, it isn't. Researching for the 40th time is not starting. Making another vision board is not starting. Waiting to feel ready is not starting. Buying the equipment, the course, the planner, yeah, it's preparation, but none of that is starting. It's actually anxiety wearing the costume of productivity so that you don't notice that you haven't moved. Anxiety wants you stuck at the start line for as long as possible, because the start line is the safest place in the world. Literally nothing can fail there. Nothing can be judged there. Nothing can hurt there. The dream stays perfect and untouched forever, as long as you never actually attempt it. And that's just natural for our brains. We want safe. We want comfortable, okay? That's not, it's not what you want, but it's not like terrible. It is the problem that you and I are running into though. Because a dream you never start is a dream that's already dead. It just hasn't been buried yet. And I'm gonna relate to you guys on this one because literally 2 weeks ago, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was in this exact same position. I was genuinely in an anxiety crisis. Like every single day, every minute of the day, I was thinking, I don't have enough time to do work. I'm not making enough money. I want to do YouTube, but I also want to be part of this YouTube Filth team in person. But I want to make more money. Like so many thoughts. Those are like just the surface of thoughts that I had every single day. But let's just say that you get past that, because I did. I started something, and now I'm slowly building momentum. Well, as of right now, I'm not building any momentum, but you get the point. You get past that first part, you start something, you start building some momentum, you start to get consistent at it, and well, anxiety doesn't actually leave. It just changes its tactics. Because now it shows up mid-project right when things are getting real and asks the second most dangerous question in this whole video. Do I need to sacrifice this much for it? Now, of course, that might not be the exact thought, but just think along those lines, right? This is where the dreams don't die loudly. They actually die slowly, almost politely. You miss a day, you tell yourself that, it's okay, you'll just catch up tomorrow. Then you miss a week. The doubt creeps back in, except now it's sharper. Damn, what if I fail anyway after all this effort? And suddenly it feels safer to quietly let the project fade than to keep showing up and risk it not working out. This, guys, is the cruelest version of anxiety because it attacks you right when you have the most to lose. Early on, quitting costs you literally nothing. You hadn't invested anything yet, but mid-project, you've put in real hours, real money, real identity. Anxiety knows this, so it raises the stakes of every doubt. It's no longer, oh, what if this doesn't work? It's now, what if all of this was for nothing? This thought running through your head is so deadly. I cannot express it enough. This is exactly what I was also going through a few weeks ago. For just a quick little backstory, I do voiceovers. I'm self-employed for voiceovers. I do it pretty much full time, and well, it just doesn't make a lot of money, okay? And my absolute dream is to become a YouTuber. And so once I put those two and two together about, a couple weeks ago, I would get these crazy thoughts of what if this was all for nothing about my voiceovers, about my past projects, about my past experiences, my past days, my past hours in the day, like insane, just insane thoughts, right? And now I'm going to be honest with you. I'm getting those same thoughts about this very channel. I've uploaded like 4 videos and the past 3 have barely gotten views, let alone impressions on YouTube. I was literally looking up to see if I was shadow banned because I was getting 0 views for over 2 days. And this just brings me to the next point. You see, anxiety doesn't need to stop you once. It just needs you to stop showing up enough times in a row that the dream dies of neglect, not of failure. Most dreams aren't killed by a single rejection or a single bad result. They're killed by absence, by the slow accumulation of days where showing up felt too heavy and stopping felt like pure relief. Now, I want to be honest with you because I don't want this video to pose anxiety as some cartoon villain with no purpose. Because actually, anxiety in small doses, I would admit, is useful, as much as I struggle from it. It's everyone's brain's early warning system, and it's been keeping humans alive for a very long time. It's the very reason that you double check the numbers before pitching investors. It's the reason you rehearse before the big presentation instead of just winging it. It's the reason that you read the contract twice. It's the reason you go over your YouTube videos 5 times before actually posting it. A little bit of, what if this goes wrong, makes you sharper, more prepared, more careful. And people who feel zero anxiety about big decisions often make worse ones, not better ones. So the problem was never that you feel anxious, because feeling it is not a malfunction. You see, the problem is when anxiety stops informing your action and starts replacing it entirely. For example, a useful anxiety thought would say, let's prepare for that, right? It points out a real risk and hands you a job to do. Dream-killing anxiety says the opposite. Let's not try so we never have to find out. It points at the same exact risk and hands you an excuse to do nothing. Same feeling, same racing thoughts, the same tight chest feeling, completely different output though. That line between anxiety that prepares you and anxiety that paralyzes you is the entire video. Everything from here is about learning to stay on the right side of it on purpose every single time it shows up. So here's how you stop anxiety from being the thing that writes the ending to your story. The first point I want to give you guys is name the question, then just act anyway. Don't try to fight the thought of what if I fail? Because trying to argue yourself out of a feeling just rarely works and it wastes energy that you need for the actual task. Let the thought exist. Say it out loud if you have to. What I did like a few weeks ago when I was going insane, I actually wrote every single one of my thoughts in my journal and I just observed it. I just read it in my head to myself repeatedly. I paced around my room a few times. I started writing more ideas that I had, all the other thoughts and ideas related to business, YouTube, life choices, etc. And then I actually took physical action regardless of all those thoughts. And you guys need to do that too. Anxiety loses most of its power the moment that you stop trying to silence it and just stop obeying it. Okay, and the second step for those who are struggling to even start something, I like to call this shrinking the start. We all get the thought, how do I even start? It feels paralyzing because you're picturing the whole mountain in one glance. If you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, you're thinking, oh man, 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, thousands of views per video, etc. Money coming in, You see, nobody climbs a mountain like that. They take a step, then another step, and the mountain becomes irrelevant to the moment that they're in. Make the first action just so small, it's almost embarrassing. Don't go write the book, open the document. Don't go launch the business, send one message to one potential customer. Don't just get fit, put your shoes on. Momentum kills anxiety far more reliably than motivation does, because momentum doesn't ask you to feel ready. It only asks you to be moving. For example, how did I get out of it? I opened a document and I just started writing. I just started writing my thoughts and then, put them into YouTube ideas. But the third point that I want to give you guys, and honestly give myself because I'm kind of struggling with this, is redefine the sacrifice. Because you will sacrifice something for this dream, whether it's time, comfort, certainty, maybe even some relationships that weren't built for this version of you. And that's not a flaw in the plan. That's the cost of every meaningful thing that's, well, ever been built. So stop asking, do I have to sacrifice? Like it's a question with a no answer hiding somewhere in it. Start instead asking yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice for this? And is it worth it to me? Because believe it or not, that's not anxiety talking anymore. That's you taking the terms back into your own hands instead of letting fear set them for you. And the best way I can suggest you doing this is actually writing it down. I cannot stress this enough. If you have any piece of paper with you, any journal, a pen, or even a document, actually, if you don't have paper, okay? Everything's online at this point. Document all your thoughts down, because then it lets you see what's the positive anxiety and what's the negative anxiety and what you should actually build off of and also what to ignore. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about judgment, because I personally still struggle with judgment to this day. And to be completely honest, judgment is just a toll. It's not a wall. What if I'm judged? Accept it. You will be. You will be judged, whether you're starting a business, whether you're starting a big project, whether you're starting a YouTube channel, whether you're starting a charity, you will be judged. Some people will think that it's a bad idea. Some will think that you're foolish for even trying. Some won't say anything, but will just quietly wait for you to fail so that they feel better about never trying themselves. And yes, it's pretty easy to read those people when they are judging. Picture that as the toll booth, okay? It's on the road to literally anything worth doing. It's not a wall blocking the road necessarily. Just pay the toll and keep driving. Every person you admire who built something big paid that exact toll in that exact currency and kept going anyway. Guys, I'm sorry to say, but anxiety will not just knock politely once and leave. It will show up at the start, dressed as caution. It will show up in the middle, dressed as exhaustion. Damn, bars. It will show up right before the finish line and whisper that it's not too late to quit, dressed as wisdom. Your job isn't to just wait until it's quiet, because it will never be. Your job is to keep moving while it talks, to let it ride in the passenger seat, complaining the whole way while your hands stay on the wheel. Because in all honesty, the people who are living the dream that you want right now, they weren't the ones who felt no fear. There's just no such person. They were the ones who felt the exact same fear that you're feeling right now and built it anyway. So let's get a conversation going, all right? What's the dream that you've been letting anxiety talk you out of? Go ahead, put it in the comments below, and let's hold each other to it. Subscribe if any of this helped. Thanks.